Video we'll see what is at the rate qualify annotation. So in previous videos we saw that what is at the rate component annotation and what is auto while annotation used for, right? So we will see here what is at the rate qualify annotation used for. So basically let's first create an interface here, which is a variety. Okay, and this will define a function which is get variety. So it will basically return us what is I'm a vegetarian, I'm non-vegetarian, right? So now we have vegetarian class which will implement this interface. So variety, right? So it will implement this interface, and we have defined a function and we are implementing it here, right? Get variety. Now let's create a new class which is non-vegetarian, and it will also implement the same interface, and it will return us I am non-vegetarian, right? Right. Now let's declare at the red component annulation for Spring IOC to create a bean for it when the context is created, right? So we have done this. Now let's go to index controller class. So what we'll do is we will declare a field called variety, and we'll do as variety. Now let's create a constructor. Sorry for the typos. And let's right. And now we know to inject the bean for variety, what we have to do is we have to use at the rate auto add. So whatever the dependencies are there for variety, it will be injected here, right? So now we will what we'll do is we will create a function which will call that get variety function. You remember that we have created in the interface. So it will call this function, and whatever the values are there, it will return it, right? Now there is one problem, right? So if I run this, you will see I will get an error, right? So it will say that Spring this index controller is not able to find, basically it is not able to find the correct bean that should be used here, right? So what is happening is variety is being implemented by two here, vegetarian and non-vegetarian classes, right? But we have created the beans for both the classes, right? So which bean should be used here, it is not able to find. So let me run it and show you what is coming. Right? So if you see here, it is saying that consider making one of the beans as primary or updating the consumer to accept multiple beans, or use qualifier to define the bean that should be consumed, right? So let us see how we will use at the rate qualifier annotation, right? So what we'll do is we will specify the name of the bean. So if we wanted to use a class name as a bean name, so it will start with small letter, right? Vegetarian. Now if we run this, you will see I'm vegetarian is getting printed, right? Now if we use non-vegetarian, you will see I'm non-vegetarian getting printed, right? This was the at the rate qualifying notation. Now I will let you know what is at the rate primary notation also. So instead of using this qualifying notation here, what we can use is at the primary notation in the class we wanted to use, right? So if we specify here what is like at the rate primary notation, you will see. So at the rate primary notation we have specified. So it will let, like whenever we are using this class, so it will let us know that this variety, the implementation for this variety interface is basically the vegetarian class that we wanted to use. So whatever the implementation is being made here, we wanted to use that with implementation for this variety interface here. So I've already made this adder parameterization. So let us run it. Right, and vegetarian is printed here. So if I move that to non-vegetarian, so you will see and non-vegetarian will be get printed. So that is telling us that this bean is the primary bean that we wanted to use if you're not using at the right qualifier, right? So let's go to this, right? I'm non-vegetarian. Now let's see one more thing. Let's say we have specified a primary annotation here, non-vegetarian, and we are also specifying at the rate qualifier annotation here, right? Let's say specify qualifier annotation. Right. So I have specified qualifier annotation for the vegetarian bean, right? But I have used primary annotation in the non-vegetarian. So let's run it and see what will be the output, right? So you will see I'm vegetarian is getting printed. Why? Because by default, the primary notation will be like primary notation will let index controller know that non-vegetarian is the bean that we wanted to use. But as we have specified here, so it will overwritten. So whatever the bean was made primary, so it will be overwritten by this vegetarian bean, right? And that will be used here now. So I'm vegetarian is getting as an output.